Welcome to solverfy, the place where learning becomes simple. If you're struggling with homework, assignment, or doubt in subjects, don't worry, you are in the right place.
Aloha. So in this problem, we're told there's a man pulling a train basically by his teeth. So some kind of extreme athletic thing. And he's leaning backwards at an angle, which I'll call theta from the horizontal. So here's like a stick figure of this guy. He's leaning back at an angle. And there's this train that he's pulling somehow, biting onto this. And we're told that the weight of the train is 700 kilonewtons. And we know that this is the mass of the train times the acceleration due to gravity to find the weight. And he's exerting a force, which I'll call F, which is 2.5 times his own body weight, which is the mass, his body mass, times G. And we're told that the body mass is 80 kilograms. And this train goes a distance d of 1 meter. And we're assuming this starts from rest, but we want to know the final velocity. That's this problem. Like, what's the final velocity when this train is gone 1 meter? And we can answer this by using Newton's second law to calculate the acceleration, because we want to eventually, we're looking for kinematic quantity, this final velocity. So we're told information about the forces. So we want to use the forces to figure out its acceleration, the rate of change of the velocity to go from 0 to the final speed. So using Newton's second law, there's no motion in the y direction, defining y direction like this. But there is motion in the x direction if we make our coordinate axis like this. So making a free body diagram, we'd have on the train, the mass of the train times gravity, that's the weight of the train, and then this force F, which is coming at an angle theta from the horizontal. Oh, and theta, that's another given quantity, 30 degrees. So the net force in the y direction is so train on the track, but we want to find the net force in the x direction, which will be the mass of the train times the acceleration of the train, which we'll call ax. And then we know this is equal to the sum of the forces in the x direction, which is really just the x component of this force the man is pulling, and that would be the adjacent side of this angle. So that force would be F cosine theta. And to write this as an equation for ax, we can write this as ax is F cosine theta over mt, the mass of the train. And to write this in terms of a known variable, we can write the mass of the train is really just the weight of the train divided by acceleration due to gravity. So we have an equation for this acceleration in terms of known quantities. And we also want to plug in this equation here for F. And since we're dividing and then dividing again by g, this is really a g squared term at the top. So that's an equation for ax. So we can put in the numbers then. And we can use a kinematic equation, which comes, you can find earlier in the textbook, and equations for kinematics, if you don't remember it, where the final velocity, and this is all in the x direction, there's no motion in the y direction, can write as 2 times its acceleration times the distance d. So that's the equation we'll use using this value for ax. So if you plug in the numbers here, just a factor of 2.5 times 80 kilograms. G is 9.8 meters per second squared. Squaring that. Cosine of the angle theta, or 30 degrees. And then dividing by 700 kilonewtons, so that's 700 times 10 to the 3 newtons. So for the acceleration, you should get about 0.024 meters per second squared. So the newton is a kilogram meter per second squared. And then the units of newtons cancel out to get this as a unit of acceleration. So plugging that number in to this velocity equation, and then the 1 meter, you should get so final answer for VF. I'll write it up here. About 2.22 meters per second. So that comes from just this equation here.